I could go back to the day I started raising art, there are a few things I would have told myself that would have saved me money, time, and a lot of frustration. So, if you're starting your raising journey, this video is definitely for you because I'll be sharing 5 things I genuinely wish I knew before I began. Hi everyone, welcome to Sprinkle of Resin. My name is Chiamaka, and on this channel I talk about everything raising art, beginner tips, common mistakes, and everything you need to know about raising. Starting raising art can be exciting. You see beautiful things and you just think that this is so easy, I can do this. Well, I thought so too the first time I saw raising art. Yeah, it was very beautiful, and I was like, I can make this. It's so easy. But once you actually begin, you will realize that there are some lessons that no one prepares you for. So today, let's talk about 5 things I genuinely wish I knew before starting raising art. The first thing I wish I knew is that raising requires a lot of patience, like a lot of patience. When I started, I wanted everything to just happen quickly. Let me just mix, pour, and see the perfect results immediately. But raising doesn't work like that. Sometimes you need to wait for the right temperature. Yes, temperature affects raising a lot. So you have to wait for the right temperature. You have to wait for the bubbles to rise so that you can pop them. And most importantly, you have to give your raisin enough time to cure properly. Yes, because if your raisin doesn't cure properly, you won't have a perfect project. So, one thing that raisin has taught me is that rushing it gives you more problems than solutions. So you just have to be patient with your raising if you want to have a perfect result. The second thing I wish I knew is that mistakes is completely normal. Yes, I used to think that every project needs to be perfect. So whenever my project doesn't go the way I planned, I feel discouraged. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning. Yes, mistakes helps you to get better. Maybe your resin stays sticky, maybe you get bubbles, your project doesn't turn out the way you imagined. These things happens to everyone that works with resin. Yes, you are not the only one. It happens to everybody at some point in their journey. It happens. Every mistake teaches you something new. That is what you have to know. So you don't have to beat yourself up because your project doesn't come out the way you want. You just learn with that one and you continue. The third thing I wish I knew is that buying the cheapest supplies is not always the best decision. I learned the hard way. I know you are just starting and you want to save money. Yes, beginners do this a lot, but believe me, that is not the best decision. Buying cheap supplies can cause you unnecessary problems and it makes learning more difficult for you. Not that you necessarily need to buy the most expensive materials, but choosing reliable products can make your journey much smoother. One time I decided to get resin from Jumia because I felt it was cheaper and I did. But when I got it, I I I was in tears because tell me why the hardener was already yellow. Like I couldn't use it because all the projects I made with that particular resin I had now turned very sticky. I couldn't use it. So buying cheap supplies is not always the best decision. The fourth thing I wish I knew is that your safety should never be an afterthought. Yes, I really wish people talked about this often. I know that raising can be fun, creative, But it is very important to take your safety very seriously. You should work in a well ventilated place. Use your glove, use your mask. Make sure to protect yourself from resin. One time on TikTok, I saw a video of a resin artist. She was showing us what resin did to her 10 fingers. At the time of this video, she said that it was already 4 months post treatment and it was still that bad. You can now imagine what it looks like before treatment. So that's why you should take your safety very seriously. Reason, yes, it's not harmful, but it's still harmful in some ways. So please always protect yourself whenever you are working with resin. It shouldn't be an afterthought. Always do that. Always protect yourself before you work with resin. And those are the 5 things I genuinely wish I knew before starting resin art. If you're a beginner, I hope this encourages you to keep learning and creating even when things don't go perfectly. And that's it for today's video, and I hope it was helpful and you learned something new. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a resin tip. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep creating and enjoy the process.